Hello, and thank you for joining the Austin Chapter National Black MBA Association as we discuss building better businesses with today's topic, small business consultation services. Joining us today is Dr. Priscilla Kucer, founder and CEO of Priscilla Kucer Consulting Solutions. Welcome, Dr. P, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Darren, for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Great. We are excited to have you. So to kick off the conversation, please tell us a little bit more about yourself and your company.
Sure. And I know we got a little time constraint, so I'm going to keep this brief. And more information, you can always go on my website to find out more about my background. So as Darren mentioned, I'm Dr. Priscilla Kucer. I go by Dr. P, and I founded Priscilla Kucer Consulting Solutions. And the reason why I did that was because I was realizing that there was a need out there for micro businesses to get the coaching, consulting, training, and development services that micro business owners need in order to scale their business to survive to 5 years and beyond. And the reason why I chose 5 years is because after doing some research, and we all got to do some research when we're starting our businesses, right? So in doing some research, I found through Small Business Administration some statistics. Some of them were encouraging and some of them were not so encouraging. And one of those that stuck out for me was that 50% of small businesses failed to make it to 5 years. And then 30% failed to make it to 10 years. And the thing is that with all those small businesses being created, I was like, what's happening? What is it that they need, and what we all need, because you're in that same boat too. We are founders of our own companies and we're building it up. What we need is support. We need that coaching, that consulting, training, and development. We are now starting. We're not a bigger version of a small business company that has 150 or 200. We're not starting bringing in $1 million and above. We're starting from zero. So being able to get the support that we need to help us to grow, that's where I realized, hey, I can help. And I want to help because I'm on a mission to increase the number of small businesses that make it to 5 years and beyond. And at the beginning, I mentioned that I work with micro business owners. And the reason why I work with micro is because micro includes those businesses that have 10 employees or less. And a lot of companies in the US start as micro. Some of them stay as micro, some of them grow to more than 10 employees. So it's just helping them get the structures that they need so that they can be successful and growing their business based on the revenue that they're getting as they're growing so that they can survive. So that's part of the reason why I started my company. So then a little bit about me. I'm born and raised from Barbados. Woohoo! Love it. Love where I am from. Born and raised from Barbados. And I left my island to pursue graduate school in South Florida, Nova Southeastern University, go Sharks. And I did my degree in school psychology, but that was not the first degree that I went to Nova to complete. You can find out more on my website for the real reason why I went to Nova. But I graduated with a school psychology degree. And then I took my show to Orlando, where I had my first job as a school psychologist. With all the knowledge that I had from graduate school, I was so excited to do this school psychology thing. I'm going to help so many students. Then I realized how much organizational structures impact what we do with students and how you have to learn the system in order to help the individual. And I'm talking about knowing strategic goals, knowing vision, knowing mission, knowing your budget, time management, organizational charts, workflow, collaborating with multiple agencies, supporting each other. So having that know, like, and trust factor also happened when you're working in the schools, right? So I realized that you really needed to know organization system as well as individual. And then I was like, maybe it was just an Orlando thing. So I took my show on the road again, went to Cayman Islands, went to Washington State, went to California and to Texas. And I realized it didn't matter where I went. An organization is an organization. There are different parts to the organization. And when those parts do not communicate with each other, then a lot of negative things happen. But when those parts communicate well with each other, amazing things happen. The value that you find in an organization is like none other. The organizational culture is strong. People actually enjoy their job. Morale is high, burnout is low, productivity is high, performance is high. We're meeting our strategic goals. Everybody knows the vision and the mission, and we are seeing improvement. And that was from me working in schools, right? So then I decided to do my doctorate in industrial organizational psychology to combine my experiences in K-12 with industrial organizational psychology. And I don't regret it at all, because it has given me so much added value to the knowledge that I had before. And I'm even better positioned to work with micro business owners to help them with scaling their businesses by helping them learn some strategies to improve their goals, processes, and operations. So that is a little bit about me and my company.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. As a chapter, that's one of the foundational goals that we have, specifically in helping Black businesses, small Black owned businesses improve. It's one of those, points of trouble that we have in our community, where you have people that don't have access to jobs or local businesses. So how do you improve the community? You start with improving the businesses so that the businesses can have more jobs and grow from not only just the family hires to 2 to or 10 employees or more. Tell us, how long have you been in business?
I have been in business this month, officially, according to Secretary of State, going to be 3 years. So I'm so excited about that. But let's be honest, 3 years with the Secretary of State, we work on our businesses by far longer than when we actually become official. So I have a couple years behind the 3 years of just researching, growing, developing. But officially with Secretary of State, 3 years.
Awesome. Awesome. I love how you tied in the organization of the academic environment and compared that to, the same type of organization that's needed with small businesses. So when you talk about the small businesses that you support, you mentioned, the micro businesses. What is there a specific industry that you support, or, that you would prefer as a customer or client?
Yes, there is, because I will tell you, and Darren, I'll be the first to tell you, everybody is not my client. And that's something we as small business owners, we need to realize. Everybody is not your client. You got to know your target audience. And if you have not already worked with a really good marketing agency, I highly recommend that you do, because they will help you realize that everybody ain't your client, especially when your dollar can't stretch so far to get that advertising that you're looking for, right? So for me, because of my background and my passions, if the company is within education management, K-12, that's one of the first set of companies I would work with. Nonprofits as well, and then mental health agencies, or if you are a mental health professional starting your own mental health company. Those are my top 3 right there, because of my experiences, because of my background, and because of my interests. But I also work with health and wellness. I work with fitness, and I work with accounting and some finance in there, some financial folks in there. If you're starting a plumbing company, or you want to start a trucking company, or you've started these companies, but you're not really seeing the growth that you are expecting, those are also some industries that I work with, and also fashion design.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So as a consultant, it's a challenge, to truly communicate what you provide in a service, as far as what a business owner, or why a business owner would have value, not only to communicate and contact you, but to ultimately pay you. So very high level, if you could communicate, what does your company do to help these styles of businesses? Like, do you start out and, what is your first analysis before you actually dive in to support these companies?
Well, the first thing is I do listen to the business owner or the team, because I work with the companies themselves, or I work with the business owner and help that business owner better their teams. So I do have to listen to the person who's in front of me, and I have to listen to hear what their needs are. Then I also have to have an honest conversation with myself about, can I provide the support at the level that this company needs, that this business owner needs. Because when you're starting out, it's so easy to say yes, 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 yes to everyone, but we can burn ourselves out because we can take on a client that we are not ready to work with. And notice what I said, we're not ready to work with them. We might be ready to work with them in 5 years, but right now we might not be ready to work with them, right? So for me, when I encounter a potential client, I do listen to find out what exactly their needs are. And if their needs are things that I can meet, I do have that conversation with them. And I also spell out exactly what they're going to be getting. Because sometimes I've spoken to so many individuals who shared with me that they go on a coach's website or a consultant's website and they can never find a price tag for anything, right? And I said to them, you go online and you will see a sticker price. You will see it, because I believe in being transparent. And then in our pre-screening session, I do explain to you what your company specifically would be getting for that money that you're going to be paying for. Because let's be honest, it doesn't matter what you're buying. You want to understand what you're getting for what you're paying for. So that's something that I do have that conversation with them. There are times when, I have business owners who say to me, oh, well, that's a little bit too much money for me and I can't afford this. I'll go do it on my own. And I just remind them of the fact that you just said to me, you're stuck in what you're doing and you need help getting unstuck. So if you were stuck doing it by yourself and you just agreed that what I'm offering can help you, why not take it? Because spending a couple $1,000s right now can help you make even more in the future. And it's really helping new business owners to see that, because that is part of the biggest challenge for consulting and coaching companies, is really explaining to business owners, you're investing in yourself now so that you can continue to grow and your doors won't close. So it's really having that conversation with them.
Right. Agreed. Now, when we talk about starting up small businesses, what challenges do you see? Like, what common challenges do you see with, the individuals you may pre-screen, where like this is somebody that needs my help?
Oh my goodness, lovely question. So some of the biggest challenges I see is that people start a business on Monday at 9 p.m. and believe that they're going to be swimming in the dough Tuesday at 9 a.m. And you can talk to the best marketing companies out there and they will tell you it does not work like that at all. You can go and knock on the doors of the most successful companies in your community, or even email somebody that you've been following for a while, and all of them will tell you it does not work like that. It is a journey, and reminding business owners that it is a journey. It doesn't matter if you are creating a business from the ground up, like myself and Darren, or if you are an independent business consultant, which means you've signed on with a well-known established company and you are now creating your sub company of them. Doesn't matter if you're going with a franchise, and it doesn't even matter if you're doing a digital marketing or network marketing type setup. The point is, when you start, you have to really understand what it is you're getting involved in, and then map out how you're going to accomplish what you need to be accomplishing in your business, and be realistic about it. And despite which avenue you're taking to become a business owner, it is truly a journey. Sometimes our neighbor can get to their goal quicker than we can, but we don't know where they truly started. So did they really get there quicker, or are we just seeing what we want to see? So it's really looking at where we are, where we want to be going, and moving ourselves forward, right? And staying focused on our goal, on our map, and understanding it is a journey. It does not happen in 1 hour. It does not happen in a week. Sometimes it doesn't even happen during your first year. But all the things that you do every single day helps you to become stronger and helps you to move forward. And you got to stay the course in your journey.
Right. Yeah. And, it reminds me of the young lady who, when she graduated, she purchased an LLC for everybody that was in her graduating class.
Ooh.
And, just because you have an LLC does not mean you have a business, right?
No, it does not. It means you have an LLC. That's all it means.
Yeah, right. And going onto that point, right? You don't know what someone else who started up a business, what they started with. And what I found, or what I find, is that a lot of the businesses that are built to endure have the proper financial structure that supports not just 1 year, but supports 5 years. They have the access to capital that, if they, need to inject some more fuel into the company, it's the financial fortitude that allows your business to thrive and survive. But, to truly have a successful operating company, that organization is what helps it to truly grow. All right.
Yeah.
So when we talk about small businesses and even LLCs, what do business owners need to be prepared when starting up a company? Like, do I need to get my LLC first, or, what's like that first thing I should do?
First thing is to think through your idea, because just because we're good at something doesn't necessarily mean it should be a business. That's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, because they're told, hey, you're good at talking to people, so you should probably become a counselor or a consultant, or a psychologist or a motivational speaker, because you're good at talking to people. But that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be good at making a business out of it. So it's really sitting down and formulating your idea for what exactly it is that you want to be doing with your business. Then understanding, is there even a need out there for what it is your business is going to be doing? And for some, it's like, oh, I got a really cool name for a business and this is what we're going to be doing. But it's very much so surface level, but they haven't done the research to realize there are actually 10 other people in your 5-mile radius who are doing the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. So really taking your idea, your concept for having a business, and actually doing some research. And along the way, you get to identify what is called your competitive advantage, which is something you need to have included in your business plan. And it will also be a part of your strategic plan. So when we talk about successful businesses, I know, Daron, you mentioned having capital. Capital is only one part of it, because you can have the capital, have no plan on how you're going to spend that capital, and you can blow through that capital. Or you can have the capital and have a plan that really outlines, hey, how am I going to keep adding to this so I don't go into the red, and how my business actually fills the void? Because all of our businesses are started to help people obtain something. We all start a business to help people do something, but we got to know what that something is, and then what makes our something, something that people want to even get, and then how are we going to reach that audience? Who is that audience? So understanding that saves us so much time, energy, and effort. And then with that knowledge, you're better positioned for how you're going to name your company, and then the logo that you're going to be using, not just the words for your company, but the image that you're going to be using. You're also going to be better at pinpointing the colors, because there's a whole psychology behind the colors. It's also going to help you with identifying your vision statement, your mission statement, your values. So that way you have that foundation that the Fortune 500 companies have. You have that foundation to help grow your business, and you get to bring in clients, you get to bring in customers, you get to bring in vendors, partners, investors, you name it, because you have the correct foundation. So running out and going and get an LLC, anybody can do that. Hey, I can share with you the links for Inc.com, 1-800-accountants, you could also start a business with them. LegalZoom, you can start a business with them. I mean, you name it, you can go out there and you can start businesses. Zen Business too is another one. You can go and fill out your LLC, but that is only part of it. You truly have to take your idea, develop that idea, understand your competitive advantage, research to understand your competitive advantage. And then from there, you are going to be much better positioned for understanding your target audience and really creating a brand that you can relate to and others want to be a part of.
Right. Agreed. 100%. I think people jump out and they say, oh, I got this great business idea. I'm going to start up an LLC and I'm leaving my job. And they literally leave one job to start up another job. But
Yes.
when you start up that job that you call is your own business, you're the CEO, you're the CIO, you're the CMO, you're the CPO, Chief Problem Officer, and you forget that you got to pay your bills, and there's just so much that goes along to that cycle. So would it be safe to say that it's best to work with you before I really even talk about or look into getting that LLC? Like when I first have that concept that I'm passionate behind, I should reach out and say, hey, I want to develop a business here. How do I do it the right way? Like, is that the best not saying that that's always going to happen, but is that the best time to contact you?
That is one of the best times to contact me, because that would tell me that you need some help with your business plan. You need some help with understanding, is this even going to be viable? And with the business plan, you are looking at not just your competitive advantage, but how can you sustain this business? And if you're going to be going after capital at some point in time, you need to have a business plan, because people want to see, banking institutions want to see it. Investors want to see that you have actually thought through your idea and you have looked at your competition and you have a viable plan for how you're going to be sustainable. So there are so many benefits to having a business plan. I've worked with business owners who are 4, 5, 7 years in and never took the time to do a business plan. And part of the reason why they're feeling stuck now is because they didn't take the time to do a business plan, because their wheels are just turning in place and they're not seeing the huge increase in revenue that they had anticipated. And some of them also don't have a strategic plan, because a business plan and a strategic plan serve two different functions in a business. And your business plan should not be used to be your strategic plan, because there are different elements that are involved in both of them. So for me, if you're somebody who is sitting down at that 9-to-5 job, cussing up a storm because you don't want to be there, because you have an idea for a business and it's going to be a killer idea, it's like, hey, let's have a conversation to ensure that when you do make that jump, you have saved up enough to help you with getting started. And I'm not saying you have to save up $30,000. With the business plan, we can help you create the strategic plan for you to use the funds that you have at that point in time to gradually increase your revenue, gradually grow, so that you'll have your peace out there from that 9-to-5, where you're like, to hell with y'all, like out and gone. And you can actually be focusing on running your business and not being in the weeds of your business.
Right. Yeah. Without that plan, it's, how do you know where you're coming from if you don't know where you've been? And that business plan says, okay, this is where I started. This is where I said I was going to go. This is where I may be right now. And how do I want to stay on that track? I think COVID, changed the world so much to the fact of how business operates, right? Like, are we virtual? Are we in person? Does it make sense to have a brick and mortar? If I'm in the restaurant industry, do I need a delivery? Like, your business has to always be pivotable. And it really goes down to a business term called BizVUCA, where the business environment is volatile, it's uncertain, it is complex, and it is ambiguous.
Yes,
right?
It is.
So that plan and that the business plan and strategic plan helps to navigate the uncertainty that comes with operating in the business world. It's funny, one of my mentors, he mentioned Dr. George Fraser. He says, if an individual can convince somebody to join a cult to kill themselves,
oh my God,
you can start up a business, right?
That's brutal.
It's brutal,
brutally honest.
but it comes down to the fact of, if you understand what that selling point is, and if I can identify what that selling point is for your business,
Mhm.
You know, and we all have, you know, what is desirable for us, no matter what it is, or, you know, what walk of life it is. It's just, how are we as the business owner putting that in front of our customer? You know, and as you mentioned, right, having that access to, you know, your competitive market, that's where you get the most information about how to operate your business, is understanding that your what your competitors do.
Mhm.
And, you know, one level further on that, if you don't have competitors, the question is, do you really have a business?
Hey, you either sitting on a gold mine or you're really far off the mark. It's really hard to tell. And the only way you'll be able to know is to do some research. Because
Right.
if you truly have no competitors, then you are positioning yourself to be such an expert in that area. So you literally could be sitting on your gold mine idea. And there are
Right.
two other plans I wanted to also mention too, Darren, for people who are starting a business. And these are two that a lot of people don't talk about. And that is your contingency plan and your exit plan. Because your strategic plan, yeah, that helps you your direction, you know, whether you're going to do it for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, you know, fully mapping out your direction. But your contingency plan helps you with understanding the unexpected. When working in the schools, we had tons of contingency plans going on. You know, a lot of them were connected to emergency plans. So active shooter was one of them, earthquake. Then you also had tornadoes, fires. So we had to know what was going to be happening. And a lot of us work in organizations where we have never done a fire drill. We never did one damn fire drill. We never did a tornado, anything, right? And for those watching who are still working in their 9 to 5, or those who have gone over and you're not in your 9 to 5 and you're in your company right now growing it, just think about it. Did you ever do a fire drill? You know, so think of it this way with your business. What is your fire drill for your business? What is your tornado plan for your business? Because we have to have those. COVID really hit people hard because a lot of people did not have any contingencies for if my company had to be completely remote. Like Daron mentioned, brick and mortar businesses, they thought they were forever brick and mortar, you know, but then they had to adapt. Then you had restaurants who would have fought tooth and nail. I'm not delivering. No, no, no. People have to come to my restaurant. And what did they have to do? They had to start delivering, something that they didn't think about doing. And many of them are keeping because they realize how much more money that they're making when they, you know, look at another revenue. So the contingency plans do really help. Last year, when was it? Facebook and Instagram went down for a couple hours. People were panicking, like, oh my God, how am I going to get my social media out? How am I going to get my ads out? How are people going to see me? It was a huge, huge panic. When Facebook went down for a couple hours, it was like, oh my God, people won't know anything about me. So what is your contingency plan for when social media goes down? You know, a lot of people forgot about good old emails, you know? So really having those contingency plans and your exit plan, that's another one, because when you're sitting in your 9 to 5 or your 11 to 6, whichever is the 8 or 9 hours you're working, and you're like, oh, I want to go work for myself, you know, so I can start my own business. Do you want to be in it forever? You know, do you have an exit strategy? You know, many of us did not necessarily have an exit strategy when we left that full-time job. And that's why the financial, when you're starting your business, might be a little difficult for you because you didn't really plan through your exit. But in your business that you're running right now, your organization you're starting, your company that is your dream company, we still need to have an exit plan. Unless you plan on working in your company until the day you die. I thought you wanted your company to get some freedom, you know, some financial freedom to travel, do more gardening, sightsee, whatever it is that you have plans on doing. So along with your business plan, you still need to have a strategic plan, develop those contingency plans, and have exit plans. Planning is very important to our success.
Right. No, I agree 100%. That's, you know, definitely one thing that people don't think about, you know, what's the exit? And, you know, I find a lot of individuals that I work with, you know, they have these companies and they're, as you mentioned, burnt out. But, you know, they've been operating this company for the whole time themselves. And if they leave, they don't have anybody to take over and run the company, or they can't pass it down to their kids because their kids don't want to run the company. They want to go into art or something along those
Something
lines.
else.
So what is that plan to continue having the business grow? And that's one of the best things about having an LLC or having some type of incorporation. It lives forever.
Yeah.
You can pass your kids down, a company that lives forever. You can't pass them down a job that they don't want to do. All right.
So true.
So look, this has been a great call and a great conversation. How can people who watch this video get in contact with you?
So the best way to get in contact with me, honestly, is my website, because you have connections to all my social media on my website. And I'm sure Darren is going to share the link in the description for this video when he puts it up. But my website is Priscilla Kucer Consulting Solutions. You put that into Google, I will most certainly pop up. Or you can do www.drpksolutions.com. You will find me. And on that page, you will find my links to my Instagram, to my Facebook, to my LinkedIn, to my YouTube, and my Spotify. So I'm on social media, and the main reason why I'm on so many different ones is because I understand people learn differently. So for those who love video, you have video. For those of you who are the podcasters, you have the audio for the podcast. And for those of you who like reading, I do have the blog so that you can get the information that you want and have tons of resources on each one of them, especially on my website, so that you can not only see the links to the podcast and read the blog, but you can also get access to some tools that you can use to help you as you're starting your business and then as you're scaling your business. And I also have some courses. So I don't even think Darren even knows about this one yet. I got my courses that I am releasing this summer. There are a couple already up on the website. And by the time this video goes live, there'll be tons more on there on different things that new business owners would like to know, and also existing business owners. One of my hot courses that people are waiting for is a time management course called Get Shit Done. So it's going to be on there as well. And there's going to be a starting your business course. So those are some things that you can look out for.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I am looking forward to Get Shit Done.
Yeah.
Especially because for whatever reason, I can't meet my deadlines with you, but I get it done. It's not when I say I'm gonna get it done. But no, Dr. P, this has been a great conversation. We want to thank you on behalf of the Austin Chapter National Black MBA Association for your time. And one more time, what's that website?
My website is Priscilla Kucer Consulting Solutions. You can drop that in Google, or www.drpksolutions.com.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And you have a great day.
You too. Bye.